steps. Go to the nearest AfriMoney agent. Tell them how much you want to deposit. Give the agents your number and the cash. You will receive an SMS notification from 161 confirming the deposits. To check and confirm your balance, dial *161 *9*1# and enter your PIN. Remember, you do not have to pay extra for deposits. Cashing is free. Wondering how to cash in using AfriMoney? Here are few easy steps. Go to the nearest AfriMoney agent. Tell them how much you want to deposit. Give the agents your number and the cash. You will receive an SMS notification from 161 confirming the deposits. To check and confirm your balance, dial *161 *9*1# and enter your PIN. Remember, you do not have to pay extra for deposits. Cashing is free. Wondering how to cash in using AfriMoney? Here are few easy steps. Go to the nearest AfriMoney agent. Tell them how much you want to deposit. Give the agents your number and the cash. You will receive an SMS notification from 161 confirming the deposits. To check and confirm your balance, dial *161 *9*1# and enter your PIN. Remember, you do not have to pay extra for deposits. Cashing is free.
AfriCell. For the first time, they give you the new AfriCell smartphone with free 1-year internet. Also, you get 100 megabytes every month for just 250,000 leones. You get radio, torchlight, camera, Facebook, WhatsApp, YouTube, and they use 2 SIM.
AfriCell. Now we network.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Now we dey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now we done sabi.
Yeah.
Now we done lek.
Yeah.
The game done big.
Yeah.
Take them all.
Yeah.
The cheapest data off on a salon from AfriCell. Yeah. You want some? Take them. Dial *113#. Choose number 7 and get 1 gigabyte for just 10,000 euros and enjoy 30 days validity browsing.
Yeah.
AfriCell.
Yeah. Yeah. AfriCell. For the first time, they give you the new AfriCell smartphone with free 1-year internet. Also, you get 100 megabytes every month for just 250,000 leones. You get radio, torchlight, camera, Facebook, WhatsApp, YouTube, and they use 2 SIM.
AfriCell. Now we network.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Now we dey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now we done sabi.
Yeah.
Now we done lek.
Yeah.
The game done big.
Yeah.
Take them all.
Yeah.
The cheapest data off on a salon from AfriCell. Yeah. You You want some? Take them. Dial star 113 hash. Choose number 7 and get 1 gigabyte for just 10,000 euros and enjoy 30 days validity browsing.
Yeah.
AfriCell.
Yeah.
Wondering how to cash in using AfriMoney? Here are few easy steps. Go to the nearest AfriMoney agents. Tell them how much you want to deposit. Give the agents your number and the cash. You will receive an SMS notification from 161 confirming the deposits. To check and confirm your balance, dial star 161 star 9 star 1 hash and enter your PIN. Remember, you do not have to pay extra for deposits. Cashing is free. Wondering how to cash in using AfriMoney? Here are few easy steps. Go to the nearest AfriMoney agents. Tell them how much you want to deposit. Give the agents your number and the cash. You will receive an SMS notification from 161 confirming the deposits. To check and confirm your balance, dial star.
Trailblazer segment. And the Trailblazer is a segment where we talk to people that have been doing exceptionally well in all walks of life, both home and abroad. And the word Trailblazer, just so if you've not been on the follow we show for the past 3 weeks, it means the first individual to do something or go somewhere where other people, deem impossible. And a Trailblazer is a pioneer and an innovative leader preparing the way for others to emulate. This program will last for an hour to relax as we take you through. And also you can be a part of the program by sending your text messages to any AfriCell number on 1053, or you can also watch us live on our Facebook page. It's a good morning to those who are watching us live on Facebook.
Yes, and welcome. Well, in today's segment, we'll be talking to the Managing Director of Mercury International Company, Mr. Martin Edmond Michael Esquire. Well, you don't see him on television, you don't hear on radio and different programs, and mostly talk about Mercury International and of course projects that we go for do with developing Sierra Leone and things that we go for do with helping young picking them and that of sports and other issues. But today exclusively we can talk to him about in your own life, how he grew up, also I grew up, and they tell you a little bit about himself too. So he's our special guest, and as Mary mentioned, you can be part of the show. The number 1053, we're live on Facebook right now, and you can send any comments. We can take them and let yourself a voice be heard on what we can discuss here. Good morning, sir. Welcome to the What's Happening Breakfast Show.
Good morning, and thank you very much for when I invite me. I don't hear a lot about this show, and I'm very happy to be a part of it. I just hope so, and I don't get too many difficult questions for me.
We don't have too many difficult questions. I feel like Ikubolaje has been here. Mona Cole has been here.
Vicky Mo has been here.
Steady Bongo has been here.
Well, good.
So you should have there.
I think great company then. That's it. Yes.
All right. Okay. So somebody listening right now go one for no, and the first question we can must go ask who don't Martin Edmond Michael.
Well, how long do I have to answer that?
Because you have like loads of questions, but just feel free.
All right, so obviously, as you already said, Mina, the Managing Director of Mercury International. I also Mina, lawyer by profession. Okay. So I've been to do law before I go join Mercury International. I also get sporting interest, Vice Chairman of the Sierra Leone Cricket Association, and obviously, we also get we own radio station at Mercury, and Mina, obviously the chairman of that station. Okay. So married with 2 kids. Okay. My wife, I think, is probably more popular and more well known than me. When I have Basita Michael, and I get 2 kids, and born and bred in Sierra Leone and grew up in Sierra Leone. But I shall say questions will come on that after.
Yeah, sure, of course.
Okay, yes, Reg.
Go ahead and.
Okay, so you say born in Sierra Leone. Which parts now? Sierra Leone you born?
I born east end of Freetown, Cottage Hospital, 1970. But I grew up in Bo. I spent all my youth in Bo till the age of 11. I attended St. Francis Primary School in Bo. And then at the age of 11, because me have been bad boy and very naughty, my parents then decide to send me off to boarding school in England.
Okay.
So I spent the next 8 years in boarding school in the UK. But of course, I've been come back to Bo for my holidays. And all the holidays where I've been come really in Bo we spend, I'm not Freetown at all.
Okay.
So now there I grew up, there I sort of get all my childhood memories up till the age of 18. Now there I make all my friends and everything. And then after that, of course, I moved to Freetown. After university in the UK, I came to Freetown in 95, and I don't spend the rest of my time there.
All right, let me talk about the Michaels. You know, talk to me about the Michaels. Somebody they listening right now. When we get Martin Michael now, they will think about your brother, they will think about your family in Bowtown, in Kenema, all around Sierra Leone. Talk to me about the Michaels.
Okay, so obviously everybody also know my brother Rodney Michael because of an association with football, and my younger brother Edwin actually represented Sierra Leone in tennis at the under 14 level, and he also represents Sierra Leone in football at under 23 level. So the Michaels actually are the first family of Lebanese origin for Sierra Leone. Now we begin the migration. Some may say good, some may say oh no, but now we begin the migration to Sierra Leone in the 1880s. We family first go to Mongre. From Mongre we move to Mandu, from Mandu to Bo, and then from Bo now the rest of the Michael family spread to different parts of Sierra Leone. So we get a very, very long history now with grandpa, with great grandpa, with papa, we all in Sierra Leone, we born now we day. As you know, we not get association really as you know with any other country in terms of citizenship or anything like that. We all are Sierra Leoneans. We all carry Sierra Leone passports, and I think apart from the wife, maybe, or one or two of the children, most of we not even talk Arabic. You understand? So it's as if where we just completely lost all association and affiliation with original country of origin. And of course, you know, we don't try for sort of reconnect back with the origin, because you can't just abandon them and say we're not you know. But yeah, so that's not the Michael history in Sierra Leone. So yes, now we begin the migration of the Lebanese to Sierra Leone.
And talking about migration, you say at age 8, then you get for move, you go
11.
You get for go London and do boarding home, then you get for come back, and when you're 18 you had to go to university and you do your LLB degree in a Manchester University.
Correct.
How was it like for you?
Well, boarding school been great. You know, in those days when we go boarding school, not to like now, we're not being get WhatsApp, we're not being get Skype, and then things then they. So for communicate with your parents, been extremely difficult. I mean, I remember I write a letter once to my parents. Me come holiday, now they send the letter rich. You know, so
that is serious.
And then the telephones in those days either, you know, people being there for go queue up now slet for make telephone calls. So it was different in those days. You had to put up with the boarding school. You had to make sure, say, you adapt, you know, and so on. But it was good. I enjoyed it. Boarding school made a man out of me. Yeah. It also had some bad side effects. For example, because you spend so much time away from your friends and your family, you sort of lose a little bit of your emotional side. I mean, you're not completely, but there's certain things that happen where you just not show any emotions. And I blame boarding school for that. But it disciplined me. It made me what I am. It make I able to take care of myself and handle myself properly. And, you know, and university was great. I mean, you know, coming from boarding school where everything was restricted, where I went to a Catholic boarding school, pray class, you know, all the time, and restrictions, and then you would come home for holidays and you were restricted, and then all of a sudden at age 18 or 19 you did university in an open. After the first 6 months, they actually threatened to expel me from university.
Because you I was just out, you know, enjoying myself, having fun, drinking, and doing all the things where you're not supposed to do. My parents love it, even though say I didn't do. But one day, my tutor called me in and said, "Listen, you came here with good grades from your A levels. You obviously have a little bit of ability to succeed in the law department. So give it a go and stop all this with and call. Otherwise, we have to kick you out." And I think that sort of caution me, and then I'll be able to balance the fun side together with the study side, and
luckily I managed to escape with a law degree.
We're still talking about your early days. You talk, say, the family, like you spend most of your time in, but when you can holidays even from England, you can both city and they spend your time, talk to me about how it been like for you in Bow Town City growing up, like when you go for schooling, when you come back, most of your friends are board and they you partied and they were used to, and there was where the family is. Talk to me about growing up in Bow Town City.
Bow was great in those days. I mean, now it's very populated, but in those days it wasn't so populated, but it was great. It's a complete contrast to what you had in Freetown. We would, in the mornings, you would wake up, have your breakfast, and your friends would come around and straight to the club, Bow Club, where we would play tennis and football for the whole day, go back home for lunch, go back to the club, and then around 4:30, all the adults go close their shops, close their businesses, they all go back to the club, to Bow Club, where you play sports, you mingle with people, they play snooker, darts, tennis. It was a very, very friendly, family-orientated city in those days. It was also been famous for the enjoyment within Bow, because it been getting the nickname in those days of Bow Sweet Bow, and people really come from all over the country for go enjoy the nightlife and enjoy whatever it was that Bow offered, because it was a close family unit. You been get a lot of friendly families. Everybody knew everyone, and again, in those days, we not been get internet, we not been get PlayStation, and then things and they. So we had to go out and we had to go enjoy ourselves. We had to create our own fun, which was basically tennis, football, and things like that. But the friendship was incredible. But when I come to Freetown, it's complete opposite. The place now, there's no that kind of closeness where you can get with people now, but you don't develop that in Freetown, and you can't just leave your place of work at 4 o'clock for say you go play tennis or you go play football. If you do that in Freetown, you're not going to succeed at all. But in Bow, that was what it was. I actually miss that side of Bow, to be honest with you.
All right. At St. Francis School, in Bow Town, you go there for before you come off for secondary school. I mean, like when you were going to school, the other kids, your skin color go differentiate ones. They feel like, okay, this person not to Sierra Leonean, and how it been like fully they notice this person a Sierra Leonean born, it talk Creole, fine one, we all look together. How being that kind,
the atmosphere and all.
All right, I will tell you something. I will simply answer you by saying this. I only really noticed the difference of the color of my skin in Freetown. I never noticed it in Bow. Never a subject in Bow. Never ever mentioned, to be honest with you, even if it was me not in the area, but amongst my friends, amongst the people who will go play football with, both Sierra Leoneans and those of Lebanese origin, I never ever experienced that atmosphere of, say, you know, Lebanese or you color white or this or that. Even when I grew up to the age of 18, 19, where I've been involved in football with Bow Town, Bow Rangers or Nepean Stars, I never experienced that. The only time I experienced that, now when teams they come out from Freetown then go Bow, then arguments happen. Then they begin tell you this, then begin tell you that. But within we own atmosphere, but I think it was generally accepted that we're a part of the society, we are Sierra Leoneans, the color of the skin don't matter at all. So I never really experienced that. I never got any privileged treatment, and neither did I get any insults or abuse or anything because of that. As I say, I never felt any of that in Bow, and I can always tell people them. Now, only when I come to Freetown, I begin to get that. Once in a while, you go get that kind of comment or abuse or whatever. But in Bow, no, not at all.
Let's talk about growing up as a child. Was law always one thing you want to do? Because you don't talk a whole lot about football. Or you be interested in football and parents then want you for the law?
In general.
Which one?
Okay, so my papa had been lawyer in Bow for over 30 years, and he was very well known in Bow, very well known in amongst lawyers them. So growing up, yes, I think, and of course when I grew up in Bow, we were surrounded by, I mean, apart from my dad, you been get lawyers then like the late Solomon Barrow, I've been there Bow, you been get Charles Magai, been there Bow, Shears Moses, Joe Wilson, and people like that. Been there, Bow, and then in Kenema you been get former DPP Kebi and others. So you grew up amongst lawyers. You know, anytime lawyers they come from Freetown, they're always there to the late bar and sit down. So you grew up in that atmosphere. When I went to university, really, or before I went to university, my interest was not really to do law. I wanted to do something else, something to do with sports, to be honest, a sports journalist or something like that. But the late pa advised me. He said, you can do all of that, but it's always good to get a solid foundation of a degree of some sort, so that you can move away from it, but at least it's there for you come back to it. So that's how I came into the law. I did the law and went on to do the bar finals and everything, so that I could give myself a foundation for move on to something else, knowing very well that I can come back to a profession if that thing did not succeed. So that's how it came about. So yes, it was a little bit of pressure from my family, but I think it ended up being the best advice when my late pa ever give me. And it worked out quite well. So
and what now one thing you do, because earlier on you say when you go university you wanted to like spread your wings and do a whole lot due to the fact say you be to go through the boarding home and there was a whole lot of difference what you be to do, and you decided at a certain point for pay attention to your schooling and give time for serious stuff and give time for enjoyment stuff. What are the thing where you be do, we're able to separate those two?
I think I just willpower, really, because the temptations at university are great. You get friends, then where 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, go to try for convince you for go have a drink, or during the week for convince you for go to a nightclub or whatever. So I just decide, look, Monday to Friday I will study. Friday night, Saturday will be time for go out and enjoy the whatever university offers, and then Sunday will be the rest day. And I basically try for discipline myself to do that. I not always succeed, I go admit. There were some weeks where, sometimes during the week where maybe because of stress of the studies or because you're under peer pressure, you go out, you have fun, and you probably miss a lecture or two the next day. But that's I try for do, really, try for discipline myself. So that Monday to Friday was work, and work. Then weekend, Friday night, Saturday was a little bit of fun. And sometimes if Tottenham in the play up at Manchester, either Man United or Man City in those days, we'll try for see if I go get a ticket for go watch the game. And sometimes on Saturdays also I go watch United or City they play, even though I not support both teams. At that time, City then Stadium been there just to the back of the university. It was like a 5-minute walk, so it was quite simple. So I try for program myself. I succeeded at university, but now I'm terrible at that.
All right, okay. Well, his name is Martin Michael. We get him here this morning on the Trailblazer Show, and we're talking about his life, how he grew up, and of course, within some of the things them where he go through. Now, you love sports, and you decide for balance between the two. We don't help you this far, but when you be there in UK, you spend time there and you spend all the schooling time. Did that influence you in any way for let you forget about waiting the things the way they happen back home?
Well, as I say, in the early years, it was very difficult for keep up with what really happened back home, because we've not been getting WhatsApp groups, we've not been getting things in there, you understand, and the news media in the UK not really been the cover what really happened Sierra Leone. Occasionally, if something happened, my parents then will call me and explain to me, you understand, but it had to be something serious. So it was very difficult in those early days for really keep in touch with what really happened. But I'll be always look forward, for come back. And then when you come back, of course, your friends will give you all the news, even the one who once Abby, then go tell you about them, So yes, I was always anxious and so on. I mean, I remember in 1992 when the coup happened. I'm not now one one English guy. Now he can meet me in the hotel. He say, you don't already say something that happened in Sierra Leone. I say no. He says something about Soja Man. Then a street. Then the fire. They don't take over. I said really? He said yes. I tried for call Sierra Leone. Obviously, it was impossible at the time. About 4 or 5 days later, my parents eventually get in touch with me, and at the time they explained to me, say yes. So actually, I not even find out about the coup properly until 4 or 5 days later, because at that time it was so difficult to communicate. And it was the same with when families or friends or whatever had a funeral or they lost people. Sometimes I never really found out until I get back to because it was hard, in those days, and telephone calls, you get for go sled, you get for go queue up, you get for wait, and so on. So I tried as best as I could, but it not been easy, not to like now.
Yeah.
No. So finally, when you after the law school, you moved back to Sierra Leone. What was the first thing you get yourself engaged in?
All right, so it wasn't after law school. What happened was I do my degree. I finished in 1992.
Okay.
And then I went to do my bar finals in the UK, 92 to 93.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I had cerebral malaria, so I completely could not do the exams in 1993. So I came back to Sierra Leone. 93 to 94, I decided to take a rest because I'll not be able to go back because the cerebral malaria did really mess me up a little bit. And then 94, I went back. And then in the middle of the course again, I had to redo it all over again, where then give me the sad news, say the pa don't die. So I had to come back for the funeral in May of 95. By the time I get back to the UK, I had missed the exams. So I decided, say, let's apply to the law school in Freetown now. And besides, at that time, the law don't change in Sierra Leone.
Okay.
Say, if anybody will do the bar in the UK after 1995, not going to practice in Sierra Leone unless you do the bar now. So in 95, I've been get for come back now and do the bar. So I did the bar 95, 96. Passed. From there, I go to Terence Michael Terry. Now there I do me pupillage until the coup of 97 happened, where we all been there for go. I come back, I complete my pupillage with Charles Magai.
Okay.
You understand? And then I work with Charles Magai in chambers for a year or two. And then after that, we open up a chambers with Abdul Tijan Cole and Justice Alan Holloway and a few others. And so that's how it developed, really.
And also, rumor has it that you elder brother, got named Michael.
My younger brother.
Your younger brother begets for sacrificing education for you. Is that true? Yeah.
No. I think what had happened, to be honest with you, was at the time maybe they complete my studies in the UK, the war had started in Sierra Leone. And things were getting a little bit difficult for everyone, particularly for we parents who live upline. And trying to get foreign exchange to pay fees became almost an impossibility and all the rest of it. But because I had gone far ahead, somebody had to be sacrificed and brought back. And unfortunately, it was him. But he had the opportunity to go to Forbay College here. But obviously certain things happened which sort of prevented him from continuing, but that was the situation. It wasn't really a sacrifice, it was just the fact that because of the situation they could only pay for one person, and I was already at university. But after I went to university, he did go back to continue, but then certain things happened and he came back again. You understand? But we've all sacrificed for each other throughout the years, the three of us have tried to help each other out as best as we can over the years. It's not always easy, but we don't try.
All right. You've been a barrister for the professional for over 12 years, and tell us about your experience in that field.
22 years.
22 years. No, we for over 12 years now. We don't get the actual time, but we don't say don't past 12. So now that you don't confirm it to me, so I'm just going to correct that. It's 2 decades plus, yeah?
I qualified in 1996 from the law school, but because of the coup, the signing of my permanent register was delayed from 97 to 98.
Okay.
So sort of from law school, it's 24 years, but signing of permanent register is 22 years.
Okay.
So you may experience. Well, I've had some good experiences and obviously some bad experiences. I actually stopped full practice about seven or 8 years ago, even though I still assist my wife with advice and I look over documents at times, for her. But I joined Mercury fully in 2008, but I was still combining it with practice. But in my time in practice, I don't know, it's a bit, it's one of those things. I don't really want to annoy anybody, but I'm not going to say I enjoy legal practice. I mean, I don't enjoy legal practice. I don't enjoy going to the courts. I not been really enjoy any of that. Interaction with clients was good, sitting in the office and doing The solicitor's work was good, but I can't say I had fun in the court. I can't say I enjoyed it. I can't say I miss it, and I can't say that I could look forward to go back to the courts. In fact, I'd already tell a lot of my friends and family, say, if I leave Mercury for any reason whatsoever, the last thing I go do now, I go back to the law courts building.
Any particular reason?
Yes.
It's just personal. I just not be enjoy them, you know. You get this grand idea of being a lawyer. You know, you go to court, you stand in front of the judge, you get your wig and gown, and you make these fantastic submissions of law, and the judge, they interact with you, and your colleagues, they get up and raise great objections and wanna argue, and you go back and you feel good. Well, I'm sorry, that's not to be the case at all. You understand? So all that myth of being a lawyer, for me, I just didn't feel it, and I really don't enjoy them. I mean, my wife enjoys it, she likes it, and I know a lot of people who do. And you get lawyers that we so like the profession, even after they come out courts, they still walk on the street with their wig and gown on, and they still get their full regalia on. But me not be able to that. But it was also, I mean, we also had a great time with some of our colleagues. You know, when we've been in our chambers with Tijan Cole, we organized an event where I think it was every month or every 2 weeks on a Thursday. All the young lawyers would meet in another lawyer's office, and we would just in the evening and have drinks and discuss and so on. So that sort of created friendship with people we up to now I stay friends with, and we can always talk and communicate. But there was also a couple of funny stories. I don't tell this story so many times, but I sure say I'm not going to mind if I tell them.
No.
I sure say my friends them on a particular group where they listen now, they laugh because they know this story. So once we've been come from court, myself and Abdul Tijan Cole, and I think we've been come from Court of Appeal, and we've been walked by Shaka Stevens Street on the side of Cathedral, the Catholic Cathedral, Sacred Heart, I think it's called. Yeah. So we then we full, you know, court kit with the bands and the collar and the suit and everything. Had my sunglasses on. Tijan Cole near me with the waka, with the approach Sacred Heart Cathedral. So then two Krioma million up outside. Then Seth, I think they just come out church, then in full regalia. So as we approach them, 91 said to the other, he said, "Hey, my sister," he said, "Tindo happy na salon, oh, Tindo happy na salon." Then the one said to the other, I said, "Ah, what's happening when you talk so?" He said, "Now I tell her, I say, hey, you don't see, who's the Lebanese man be you wear a suit for go sell tomatoes?" And of course, the bongo wab in the field, one the work, I just go, you know. I think to myself, you know, with him from now on, I come out court, I just wear with normal clothes. I don't walk out the street with suit again. But yeah, if you want to know why Lebanese man you wear a suit for go sell tomatoes.
Anyway, it's very interesting. Now let me come close to family now, because you know, your wife, you talk about your wife a lot. She's a popular figure in Sierra Leone, and you know, we got great respect for the whole of Sierra Leone. How we know to meet?
How we meet? Okay, so the first time we meet when I been there Lebanese school. Okay. I think that was in about 2000. She was been there in Lebanon. After the 97 problem happened, Ibingo came back, and I think because of the facts they not be done doing exams or anything, Ibingo have to go back to Lebanese school and do them. So I think I've been go to Lebanese school, me and Ansu Lansana, for go get a lecture. Okay. So she was there, we met, but nothing really happened. And she was 20, by the way. Before, at that time, before anybody began to ask me questions, she was 20, and as I said, because he didn't get the delay within classes and all the rest of it. But then when he finished in A-levels, she came to the office, sent there by Alhaji Jawad, for to ask advice on how to apply to Forobe College. So we didn't hit it off exactly at that time, because she claims I was very arrogant and rude. But after that, I think we met a couple of times, and that's how it developed. Okay. And she was working at Family Kingdom at the time as well. So I mean, you go there, go sit down, pretend say the eat or whatever, and that's how we met.
Okay. All right, that's lovely. That's a beautiful love story. Somebody see you from the start or not even like you, and then after years you guys are together. It's beautiful. So we're in for a break. It's the What's Happening Breakfast Show, and this is not a Trailblazer Hour. We'll be right back. Please stay with us.
This show is powered by AfriMoney.
Can win 1 billion, you say, with AfriMoney.
For transfer money, dial *161#, select transfer money option from the menu, transfer to register, or transfer to unregistered. Select number 1 for transfer money to registered customer. Enter the person where they receive a mobile number. Enter the amount where you want for transfer. Confirm the details of the person where they receive. Enter your PIN for let the transaction take place. For send money to possibly not register for AfriMoney, enter the number where you want for send to. Enter the amount. Enter the PIN. The customer will receive SMS with the code for let it go cash out the money with agents.
Wondering how to cash in using AfriMoney? Here are few easy steps. Go to the nearest AfriMoney agent. Tell them how much you want to deposit. Give the agents your number and the cash. You will receive an SMS notification from 161 confirming the deposits. To check and confirm your balance, dial *161 *9*1# and enter your PIN. Remember, you do not have to pay extra for deposits. Cashing is free. Wondering how to cash in using AfriMoney? Here are few easy steps. Go to the nearest AfriMoney agent. Tell them how.
Why you use AfriMoney? The more chance you will get inside the daily draw.
The AfriMoney Kobo show go there live on AYV, FTN, Afri Radio, and every major radio and TV station at the country, 8 o'clock evening time, Monday to Friday.
Use AfriMoney now, dial *161# and stand the chance to be the next billionaire.
Send blank SMS to 212 for check the chance them where you get inside the daily draw.
AfriMoney!
Now me get them.
Now you get them. Now we get them.
And we get the customer grand prize winner, 1 billion. Can win 1 billion, you say.
Welcome back. It's the What's Happening Breakfast Show on Afri Radio, and this is not a Trailblazer segment, and we done the talk to the head of Mercury International, where Martin Edmond Michael, ESQ, and it don't tell me a whole lot. I don't learn a whole lot about them, a whole lot I don't learn, and we're still learning a whole lot. And like you said earlier before the break, you say you and your woman come together a few years after you know him, and it's been lovely now to get a joint law firm together. You want to tell us about that?
Well, yes. I mean, I began the firm of Tijan Cole, Michael and Associates up to the end of 2007, but then the Tijan Cole was appointed anti-corruption commissioner. So at that time, we felt it was inappropriate for continue with Tijan Cole in name at the firm, because we nobody want any innuendos or any hints or whatever, because he was no longer a part of the firm. So if he carry in name carried, I'll not be want any association because of transparency reasons, and as anti-corruption commissioner, we not been feel say correct for getting name now a law firm. So we changed the name to Michael and Michael. So that was myself and Basita, and at the time I had already started with Mercury, so now I really run the firm most of the time. As I've said, I really just act as some form of consultant. Thinking provoke me saying I'm a very bad consultant. The best make you not ask me anything actually. But yeah, but that's how we work. She really runs the firm, and she has been since 2008. And I don't actually ever get an actual office at Michael and Michael since 2008. Mostly I've been at Mercury, but helping out from my own office at Mercury, and in terms of advice and so on. But she's solely responsible for the firm, and I indeed do everything.
And you were employed in Mercury 2007 December, and 2008 you moved fully and start for do your duties. But tell me how that employments they come about.
Okay, so initially in 2006, Nami set up Mercury International as a lawyer.
Okay.
So the owners of Mercury being kind to me as a lawyer, they asked me for set up the company for them. I did, and then I acted as legal advisor until the end of 2007, but things were not going too well with the company at the end of 2007. And so we had a board meeting with the owners, and I had looked at the figures before the meeting, and I knew this company had potential. And to be honest with you, the owners also knew the company had potential, but we were a little bit stuck, or they were a little bit stuck, or the people who were running it at that time, on how to take it forward and what was going wrong. And so during the meeting, I had discussions before the meeting with one of the consultants that used to come from abroad. So during the meeting, I said to them, I said, listen, I said, this company has massive potential. We need somebody for takeover where could change the entire structure, how it's run. But that person needs a little bit of independence too. So they say, okay, do you know anyone? So I say, yes, me. And they said, okay, we don't have any more money to invest, so you're going to have to run it from whatever you earn, and you get for, and see how far we go. And that's it. So I went in fully. In 2008, we got rid of the foreign operations managers that were there. We sent them all away. I brought everybody in from within Sierra Leone, except the IT team, but that's because the equipment is specialized. You have to be specially trained on those equipment, and because of insurance purposes and international best practice, it has to be somebody that's been trained abroad. So those were the only ones we could get. But so that's how it came about. And so I brought all Sierra Leoneans in. I got rid of all the foreign operation managers and people like that. And we changed the structure. We reviewed what was going wrong. We found out what was going wrong. I got rid of the CFO at the time because he was the biggest problem, and he was the one actually that was causing all the issues. We brought in fresh faces, new CFO. We changed the collection system, and everything changed, and the retailers became happy. Now, once your retailers are happy, your company is going to succeed, because the retailers are the front line. Not to me, not the front line. You know, when you go for buy your lotto ticket or your football betting ticket, not to me, you see. Now the retailer, if that retailer they're ready for sell, he can sell. If he's not ready for sell, it no matter what you say, no matter what you do, they're not going for sell nothing. So once the retailers became happy, and that was the first thing I said to the team, when I let we make the retailers then gladdy. Once they're gladdy, this business the boom. And that was exactly what happened.
You know, Mercury done dinner salon for a long time now. When it came, like how you just say, you know, you go through some challenges, and when you came in, decide for, you know, restructure the whole thing and bring Sierra Leoneans them on board, and then the retailers them being so happy for be part of it. But what's in your assessment so far for Mercury International, you know, as a company, you know, way from the time we don't handle to this time?
Of course, I mean, there are many people who were involved in making Mercury the success that it is today. I mean, they can't sit down here and say, I'm solely responsible. That is, I mean, I go that self-serving statement, and me not getting involved myself in that. You know, there have been many people that have the way don't work, and for ensure say this company they will say today. I mean, we had people who were working from 7 in the morning till 12 midnight, the time when we been to collect physical cash in the office. The staff would work till 12 o'clock at night, and then come back the next morning at 7 o'clock ready for pay winners, you know. So there have been many people involved. You get for also congratulate the directors, the owners them, because then get the bravery for hand over the company and say do as you will. Where are we now? I think we still not even reach 60% of our potential in terms of everything that we do, in terms of we coverage, in terms of we sales, and in terms of the corporate social responsibility work where we do. I think we still get a lot more for offer. We still get a lot more expansion for do. And of course, at the moment, the company is heavily involved in the building of these schools and classrooms. So yes, so we're still looking to expand. We still look for get more coverage around. And of course, we get a fantastic relationship with AfriCell. With TPMs, they only work on SIM card. Without the SIM card, with TPMs, they not work. So AfriCell, obviously, they provide all the SIM card and therefore we, at times also, we can only move to a certain area if AfriCell will get coverage in that area. You understand? So that's how we work. But yes, we're still moving.
Yes, me.
Sorry, no, me actually, they think as in you be doing to law, and how the transition in Vitalik for you from law to you being the head of Mercury, we get a whole different vibe and different everything. How was it like for you?
All right, so this goes back to it in the late Papin tell me that once you get a foundation in a profession such as law, you can move on to anything. And moving on to Mercury, the transition initially was a little bit difficult because all of a sudden I had to become an accountant, I had to become a marketer, I had to become a commercial person, I had to become a human resources person, and I had to do all of these things because we were not properly structured at the time. And so I had to learn all of these things. And there I was, previously just read a book and write and make notes and go to court and talk. And now all of that goes out. And you're more common sense is now involved, you understand, in running a company like Mercury. You have to have relationships with people, you have to be nice to people, you have to talk to the retailers, customers can come. I mean, we used to have issues before and everything was manual, where customers would get irate, come to the office, throw bottles at me, scream at me, throw punches. I've had bottles thrown at me, I've had punches thrown at me, and all the time I look at them with a smile because it's a service industry and so on. So the transition was a little bit difficult initially, but I got into it, and I got into the marketing side of it, and I got into the accounting side of it, and I got into different sides of it. And in fact, one of the oldest accountants where he work for we now, he used to work for KPMG, and then later when he left KPMG, he can't work for we. When people can talk to him about Mercury, he can always say the most frustrating thing for him for work when he work in a Mercury is because the managing director get the accounts now hid. So whenever there's an issue with any figure or anything and they get lost, they come up to me and then I can tell her, I say, but you remember so time now, so we pay now this. He goes, my God, you get the accounts now you hid, But this is something I developed because of because when I took over, I didn't take over a company that was functioning properly. So it's not as if I go in and you get CFOs and we get accounting software and everything and then I can just sit down and enjoy myself. No, all of this had to be developed. So that transition initially was hard, but I'm glad I did it. And I'm glad I did because the education what I get from that, with the things what I learn, the knowledge what I acquire, I mean, it really, really sort of it's good.
You talk about a partnership with AfriCell. AfriCell is involved in some of the things you do. Talk about our relationship, Mercury and AfriCell. How when I before come together and bond and get this fine relationship with Sierra Leoneans and they admire so much?
Well, as I say, we TPMs them. They work on SIM cards, so we need coverage, and because it's the only way we're able to get the information from the machines them directly to the server. So obviously we approached AfriCell, spoke about it with Shadi at the time, and Shadi basically say, okay, whatever you want we'll do. So we started off with that, and then we developed after that the 590 service, where you dial star 590 hash and you can get all the lotto results. And then after that we developed the Afri money payment system, which the retailers are very, very happy with, because they can still sit on at them box and pay rather than having to shut the box down, go to a bank and pay. So on weekends it works perfectly for them, you understand. And obviously we also get the relationship with AfriCell, where on the online platform you're able to put money through Afri Money into the online platform and do your bets, you understand. So we've worked a lot with AfriCell, and we still get a lot more to do with them. We're working on new products with them right now. The MD and the rest of the team at AfriCell, very accommodating, very nice. In fact, what I done myself, I go drink coffee with Shadi. Shadi, if you listen, ready the coffee or the come.
Alright, you earlier you say when I not even get 60% it's of una mandate and what una feel so now for do so far. But Sierra Leoneans then so far don't they appreciate it in Mercury, don't they do? You guys have been really giving out, helping people in sport, in so many other different areas, and the recent one is the school where we embark on. I see with the Ministry of Education and decide for build a school. Talk to me about that project.
All right, so not to one school no more.
Okay.
So we as part of the obviously everybody know the work with Mercury be only do in terms of education over the years, but we not been get any legacy. We not get anything where we can point to and say, now Mercury do this.
Okay.
You know, giving money for scholarship, you don't even know if then they use that money there for the scholarship. And we were popular for that, and we were famous for that, as well as everything else. But there was no legacy. There was nothing where you would point back and say, now Mercury do this. So when the free quality education came about, and then we realized also that the double shift now been a problem. Because, you know, first time you go walk in the morning, you see picking and you go school. But when you come out walk in the evening, you don't see school picking in the street. Then all of a sudden, you begin 2 o'clock, you see school picking in the street, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, because of this double shift. So in line of all of that, we decided that let me do something where the Mercury name go last for years and years to come, even if God forbid it, the company doesn't exist anymore, or me not in IR, or the shareholders, they're not there, at least the name continues to exist. And the best way for do that, na structure, infrastructures. So we offer for build for them 90 classrooms, or the equivalent of 90 classrooms. So the first project was the Potlocker School, which will take up about 25 or 22 or 23 classrooms. And that project is almost complete. The kids, it's an all-girls school. The children should be able to start attending on the 5th of October. So they start with Form 1 this year, and then next year when the Form 1 go to Form 2, they take in the new intake, and so on. It should be ready for handing over on the 5th, and immediately that finishes and we hand over, we start the second project, which is an early childhood development school in Moyamba Junction. So these are for like kindergarten, but it's a very modern structure. We took the design from the international design done by UNICEF, I think, and others. A beautiful design. It's got playgrounds, it's got a resource center, big classrooms, safety, everything. We've got an infirmary, we've got bathrooms, you know. So this is the second project, which we've done the design. The minister approved the design. Now the consultants, then they prepare the BOQ, and then after that we start construction on that at Moyamba Junction. And then after that, now again the Ministry of Education will tell we the next project after that.
And then also, apart from sponsoring schools and building schools, also raise within 2 weeks the sum of 300 million leones for help support rape victims, sexual assault, speaking them, and also help for farm radio stations like the Mount Orel, the CTN radio station, and also over 50 million leones used for support fundraising drives and list of other things the way una don't do. Like, people out there go to think, what's the rationale behind all of this?
Okay, some of those things now Mercury do them, some now we as a Michael family do them separately. So for example, with Mount Orel, there was a contribution from Mercury and there was a contribution from the Michael family. And same with the COVID funds, same with the sexual victims funds. So it's some of it was Mercury and some was as a family. To be honest with you, I get asked this all the time, you're not going to do this unless I want something. Well, it's not true. It's not true. I mean, I don't think anybody will come forward and say, me or Mercury, do I ever go to them and say, well, we do all of this for now, which we not do for we. No, for me, it's a national duty. And I don't want no thank you for them. I don't want no rewards. I don't want no favors. I don't want anything. We do it because now we duty as a citizen of this country for do what we can. When you're in a privileged position and you can do things, do it. You understand? And not expect anything back in return. You understand? God don't help me. God don't put me in a position that is a very, very privileged position. And the only way I can give back to society, the only way for thank God for that privilege where they don't give me, or for thank the people of that privilege where they don't give me, is to give back. And you give back without expecting anything in return. You understand? So there is no ulterior motive behind it. There is no reason, self-reason of why we do it. It's because we believe it is our duty, it's our moral and ethical obligation for do them things there. And as I've said, me no want no reward for them, I don't want nothing for them, I don't want favors from nobody. You understand? If I commit a traffic offense, hold me, that pay me fine. Not begin to tell me, say, oh, now Mercury boss this, or now you don't do this, now you don't do it. I don't want any of them privileges then they.
Because if you just want being me attention to the fact that Mercury don't day in existence, well, since you take over from 2007, 2008 till now, and you not ever be linked to any political affairs, how you don't manage for sustain Mercury this long without any political interference?
Well, I believe, say, every company where they operate in this country operates under the one law, and it's regardless of which government is in power. You understand? So we operate for the people of Sierra Leone. We try. What we do is for the people. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day if we've been doing that since we exist. We've done it under the past regime. We've done it under this regime. We don't try for ensure, say, we company is completely apolitical. It's not associated with politics at all. And of course, you always, as a company, work with the government of the day in terms of development, in terms of help. And you react to what that government has to offer, in the sense that this government made its flagship program, free quality education. So as a company, we looked and said, what can we help with? What can we do for the people of Sierra Leone? And then when you have a government that has a flagship program as a free quality education, automatically what does your mind go to? We go to schools and things like that. And that's exactly how we operate. So we react to policies in the sense of what we offer. But we don't do it because we belong to any political party.
Recently, we're going to go through some newspaper headlines. Then, we find out that somebody just win 344 million leones. I think it's a petty trader. We just don't win.
And a woman.
And this is a woman, where I will see said and they just give me check. Any new promotion day right now where they're ongoing for?
Well, the 344 million is an amazing amount, but the day before, somebody for 1,500 leone win 154 million.
Wow.
You understand? The one we win 344, now 2 million. This one win half of that, but with 1,500 leone. It picked 16 teams and he win. 16 teams. Some of we not even able to predict if we team there for win or loss. For example, again, enjoy the Man United supporters them. Every week then team they win, then go play rubbish. But
he's a Tottenham fan, just so I know.
Tottenham fan. Actually, to be honest with you, Arsenal are the enemies to me, but Arsenal feels then go win the Premier
Arsenal
League.
Mondays.
Then think say they go win the Premier League this year. Then all time they start well, then say then they win Premier League. Wait December can they go begin call for let them sack Arteta.
We have the right manager. We have the right manager.
Then they take December, then say let's sack the manager. This manager knows having nothing.
No, it would not happen. It would not happen with Arteta.
But going back to your question of promotions, we get some new things the way they come, for ease the way people do their bets and so on. So, for example, in terms of the football betting, apart from the online platform where we get, right now, if you want bet on football, you get to go to the retailer and you get to tell them all your teams them. So we now introduce a new system where you can sit down at your house, you go to a website called www.mercuryzone.sl, which is not yet up and running because we still work on them, and you pick your team and you get a code. So now that code number you can go to the retailer. So you don't need to go to the retailer again and tell them 1 as to 2, 2 as to 4, 4 as to 6. You take 30 minutes, you do a single bet. You can sit down at your house, by your phone or your computer, you do your bet, you put the amount where you want bet, you press shop, and it gives you a code. All you do now, you go to that retailer, you get the code, the retailer, they punch the code, and you ticket the come out and you get the money. So the work is actually done at home instead of in front of the retailer. The advantage of that is that when people then go bite to the retailer there, you got that people already halap and then, but paddy man try, me say want to me buy, time they go. Now you not get that problem there again. You can sit down at your house. Once we implement it, you can sit down at your house, you take your time, you do your bite, you just go with the code.
All right, okay. I want you to confirm something for you. I'm a big sports fan. I see them post something we go for do with fantasy league. I understand say that there's a prize tag for the winner this time around. We might don't put. You want to confirm?
Because if we don't play for very long.
So you play fantasy league? Yes, it's confirmed. So we do the Mercury Trophy Fantasy League. It doesn't cost you anything to enter. You just go to the Premier League website, you set up your team, and you enter. The winner, they get 50 million. The second, they get 30 million. The third, they get 20 million. And every month, the person with the highest accumulative score for that particular month, they win 1 million. And the person with the highest individual score for any game go win 500,000. At the moment, the two highest scores now 131 or 132, sorry. So we get two joint leaders in terms of the individual highest score. But in terms of the accumulative score, then of course, because now the first month is the person within at the top of the league, Naingo Depa win at the moment.
Let's talk about how COVID-19 pandemic in the country and the world at large affect the Mercury International.
Well, the biggest impact we've been get on, we really, first of all, in terms of staff, we're not been sack anybody, we're not send anybody home, we're not put anybody on half pay. Everybody will be the work for Mercury continue for get them full pay, even if we send them home or even if they only been the work twice a week, because we've been there for implement situation where staff not go work more than twice or 3 times a week. But nobody was put on half pay, nobody was sent home. Everybody got their full salaries, full allowances, full everything. In terms of the turnover, in terms of the business, the football affected me badly for a couple of months because we sales went to absolutely zero on football for a period of time. So the people that we've been really suffer the most behind that, apart from us as a company and we retailers them, because they lost all their commission and we lost all the business. Also the newspapers then we've been published with fixtures, we've been there for stop them. But we're back with them now, we're back working with them and we're slowly getting back to normality.
All right. Well, you're listening to Martin Michael on the Trailblazers segment on the WhatsApp and the Breakfast Show. Now, on a time, follow we turn attention to the people that we listen to it, then self get their say and their voice need for be heard on the show. But before we take the messages, then talk to me a little bit about Mercury Radio.
Okay, so Mercury Radio came about because we've been wanting something, obviously, for push with products them. And that's what it is really. We not take adverts, we don't make any money from it. We currently have, I think, about 25 to 35 staff. I'm not sure because we've been taking quite a few on recently. So I think we get up to 35 full-time staff. The station is based at Bathurst Street. We also offer free airtime to educational programs and national service programs and things like that. We don't actually take any money for it. And yeah, so that's what it is really. But just because we own radio station, normally say we stop for work with other radio stations, and we continue for help them out, and we continue for work with them, and we continue for hire them services, and a lot of times we can link up with them for broadcast we own programs them.
Okay, let's just take some messages. Lots of messages in the portal already. We could just take few. It's full. We could just take few from 1053 line and of course on Facebook. This one say, please, Michael, what is the relationship between you and Max? Coming from Alex 797 and Paloma Guest House. Please, Mr. Michael, how come you come up with the idea of Mercury International and what actually inspired you to do the game? From Alex again. Today I don't learn boku from me uncle Martin Michael. God bless you, sir, from Timberland of Jenkins Street. I know say the name go ring a bell. Definitely so. This one say, how many years you spent in the law school? Coming from Exrex all the way in McKinney. Mr. Martin Michael, please show me your icon in the world because I want to know. From Timberland of Jenkins Street. What are your sad moments during your studies and your happy moments? Coming from Exrex. People want to know you more anyways. Lots of them questioning needing a reporter. We will just give you time for your answer to those few.
I hope I will remember some of them. Okay,
do you want me to take them one after the other?
So the hero, somebody that I've always looked up to, is only apart from my immediate family, really. If you talk about somebody outside of the family, it has to be Nelson Mandela. I think that's the only person that really sort of inspired me in inverted commas. I'm not really inspired by people, I'm inspired by events. But he's the one that I've admired the most. And lately, in Sierra Leone, with all the Ebola we've had and the COVID recently, I've also gained a lot more respect for our doctors and nurses than possibly I had before. In terms of Max, he's one of the partners at Mercury. So that's the relationship. In terms of the idea of Mercury, this was again the idea of the original owners who came to seek my advice, and of course together we all decided to move on with it. What other question is there?
All right, well, we do have some of them messages and then I just compliments, but also on Facebook we have so many compliments here for you, and also the relationship of Max came up again, and somebody they say, Mr. Michael, what's the idea about Maki, and what actually inspired you with all these ideas from Alex 797?
As I've said, the idea originally came from the owners who were Max, Hassan Saad, and there was another gentleman who's no longer a partner to it.
Okay.
So the idea was not Mercury as such, it was scratch cards initially.
Okay.
And they came to me to set up the company for them, and we discussed whether we thought it would be a success or not. So I set up the company for them, but they started it, and then they pushed for the license at that time. And so I was also a director of the company and their legal advisor. But yeah, so it was generally the owners who had the initial idea, but it was to do with scratch cards, and Mercury started off. Those who remember Mercury from 2007 will remember that it was a scratch card company, and then it later on developed now into this lottery and sports betting business.
Till date, Usai go to see Maki in the country.
Well, we did in all the major towns.
Okay.
So apart from Freetown and all the surrounding areas in Freetown. So going upline, if I'm able for remember. So Freetown, Waterloo, Newton, Mile 47. Going left, you get Berry Junction, you get Pokloko, you get Cambia, you get Lunge, you get Lunsa, you get Makeni, you get Maburka, you get Kono. Coming down east, you get Kenima, you get Kailaun, you get Bo, you get Pujaun, Moyamba itself, and around the peninsula, all over around the peninsula.
Right.
But the Yile as well, and places like that. But we're going to expand further. But these are just some of the places that I can remember of. Pepel as well.
All right.
Okay.
Now, somebody listen to you right now. All which we don't talk about today, get for do with your life. Walk, growing up, and because with Maki it's so demanding. Your wife self the work, and then you say you get 2 kids. How do you balance this?
Well, it's hard, to be honest with you, but we try. We try to talk to them a lot to find out what's going on with them in terms of school and everything. We try to spend as much time as we can over the weekend, but sometimes again with issues with you're so stressed during the week that you just want to be on yourself, to be with you by yourself at times, But it's okay. They've grown up now. Jason is 15. Jessica is 13.
Okay.
And so they can take care of themselves. One of the things that they could do right from an early age was to take care of themselves, and they can do that now. And they're grown, and of course at this age they have their own friends. They think we're all, Jessica and Jason think I'm a boomer, and so, and they have their own friends that they want to hang around with, that they want to be with, and they want to talk to all the time. So yeah, it's good. I mean, the kids will be kids.
Yeah, and with all within you don't achieve so far as a person, do you feel accomplished?
Well, I thought I did until I realized that the school project has taken another dimension in my life. And of course, in terms of family, I'm not going to really feel accomplished until I know my kids have gone to university and they've graduated and they have a degree and they're working. But in terms of work and everything, despite the fact of which I say that we still get expansion for do, I felt accomplished. However, with the school project now, all of a sudden I feel that I have so much more to do. And the school project is my life now. It's taken over everything that I do. Feel so passionate about it, and this is something that I really want to see succeed. And I hope it inspires other companies to get involved, even if it's not schools. What about hospitals? What about little clinics around the country? There is so much infrastructure that's needed, and it doesn't really cost that much. So the school project has given me a different dimension now. It's made me realize that it doesn't matter what you do, there's always more. Once you want to help, there's always more that you can do. So yes, so the school project is now my passion, and it's really, really made me realize that I haven't accomplished anything.
Any plans of you going into politics?
Absolutely none.
Okay.
Absolutely none. And I have no interest in politics at all.
Okay. Well, lastly, before you go, what will be your message to the listeners, them, the young ones, them, when they come up? You didn't like the courtroom, how it didn't tell it. So some beginning go they listen. I cannot be like the courtroom. But you do me want go read law. You give your reason why, and you know. But you always see other people like your wife like him and so many other people and they. But what will be you find a message to viewers and we listeners them.
Okay, so to the young ones them where they listen, please, not listen to me what they telling us. I'm not really enjoy the law. All right, different. You need to get a proper education. You need to concentrate on your studies. You need to get a profession. You need to get a degree. Okay, so please concentrate on your education. Make sure you study. Make sure you pass your exams. And to the adults them and to the older ones that already listen, look, me go through a very tough time in my life. You may not believe it now, seeing what I've accomplished or what I am, but I can assure you that in 1995, 96. Myself, my brothers, and my mom were struggling to put food on the table. And people not gonna believe that, but it's true. We were struggling after we came back after we papa died, and after we came back in 97. That period from 98 to 2000, 2001 was a struggle in our lives. We were struggling. All of us lived in the same house. Sometimes I had no work, sometimes I had no money, and we were struggling at times to even put food on the table. You understand? But we persevered and we never gave up. And you know, and you just need one lucky break. That's all it is. You need a lucky break, but continue for work hard, continue for help, and you know, try and do what you can for help your fellow Sierra Leoneans. Them. I know it's easy for talk because I'm in a privileged position where I can do that, but there's so much you can do where you don't actually get for spend any money at all. Even just listening to somebody will get a problem and try to advise them. An effort where you make. Yeah. So you know, that's it.
Well, that's it for today. This is how we end the Trailblazer show for today. The segments on the What's Happening Breakfast Show. I want to say plenty thank you to we executive producer John Conte, to we program producer when Alusain Joseph Mansarena, of course we program coordinator Abdul Karim Siste, Master J, and we social media guys Commander and that of Marco, and we Facebook man we Francis. From we host DJ Busy. I'm yours truly, the Undisputed Reg, saying tata for today.
Many grace to AMGT, saying bye bye.
We'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Star 161 hash. Select transfer money option from the menu.
AfriCell. For the first time, they give you the new AfriCell smartphone with free 1-year internet. Also, you get 100 megabytes every month for just 250,000 leones. You get radio, torchlight, camera, Facebook, WhatsApp, YouTube, and they use 2 SIM.
AfriCell. Now we network.
Yeah.
Now we day.
Yeah.
Now we then Sami.
Yeah.
Now we then Lek.
Yeah.
The game don't big.
Yeah.
Take them all.
Yeah.
The cheapest data offer on a salon from AfriCell. Yeah. You want them? Take them. Dial star 113 hash. Choose number 7 and get 1 gigabyte for just 10,000 euros and enjoy 30 days validity browsing.
Yeah.
AfriCell.
Yeah.
Wondering how to cash in using AfriMoney? Here are a few easy steps. Go to the nearest AfriMoney agent. Tell them how much you want to deposit. Give the agents your number and the cash. You will receive an SMS notification from 161 confirming the deposits. To check and confirm your balance, dial star 161 star 9 star 1 hash and enter your PIN. Remember, you do not have to pay extra for deposits. Cashing is free.